Hello, D-Rock here. Welcome to the channel. I hope you all are well. I wanted to do a video on the aftermath of my most recent crash while riding my Yamaha XT250 and on the gear I was wearing while I was riding, and did it protect me? So here we go. Join me. All right, so first things first, let's have a look at the wreck, the footage from the wreck. I didn't get much. I wasn't filming from the front, from the top here. I was actually filming from the bottom of the bike, but I slowed it down significantly to have a look and see what exactly happened. And as I speak during the footage, I'm on a main drag, hard packed, kind of a main thoroughfare dirt road. Previously to that, I'd been riding in some light technical terrain. So once I got on that main drag, I was feeling pretty comfortable. It's just a big wide dirt road, you know, 30-35 miles per hour. You can see on the bike, and it's just a little bendy, and then I go around a slight bend, and boom, I'm just in a deep rut, and I immediately try to get out of the rut, and that's it. That's all it took. So here we go. All right, I'm on the hard packed dirt road at this point after riding in a wash, and you can see on my display on the bike that I'm going between 30-35 miles per hour. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable, especially after some of the light technical riding I've been doing in the wash. And you know, you can notice there's some slight bends in the road here, but it seems pretty tame. So like I said, I'm pretty comfortable. I'm about to switch to tire shot now. And here we go. So you can see there's some bends in the road. Still pretty tame road, but I'm still doing 30-35 miles an hour, and I'm just going to come into a bend here right about here, I believe, and boom, right here I'm immediately in a deep rut. And I notice this and I try to get out of the rut immediately, and that's when I just eat it. Boom, right there. It was a deep rut. My tires caught the edge, and that's all she wrote. And immediately following that,
I just ate it. I caught the edge of this rut. Oh. Oh. Oh, hit my ribs.
So the biggest problem with this crash was that it didn't happen, say, on a busy street or something like that, where there was resources available to immediately help me. I was out deep enough into the desert that I would just call it remote. So if my injuries were worse than they were, it could have turned into a very serious situation. So there's a couple things I want to mention first before I get into my riding gear. And I carry a couple things with me whenever I go out, especially when I'm out alone, but we carry these when I'm riding with Jen as well. And the first thing, and I showed this in the video, this is a Garmin InReach. This is a satellite communication device, so if I'm way out in the desert, I can still get communication. It has a SOS button here, and once I activate the SOS feature here, it'll immediately send out a communication, a distress signal, if you will, to get things in motion. How fast that works, I don't know. I've never personally done it, but and hope for the best. At least it's something. The also added feature of this device is that I do a monthly service. Let me just preface this with it's a little spendy to get started with this. I think I paid $500 for the unit, and then I pay a monthly fee, which isn't very much. I think it's $11, and that gives me 10 text emails a month. There's different levels of service, but that's all I need. And so if I am physically able to activate the SOS, I can also communicate with someone else and let them know what's going on, how I am. And when this sends out messages, for example, it'll send out a text and an email. It'll send out GPS coordinates so you can see where my position is on a map. So it's pretty good, and it's well worth the investment of carrying one of these. Now this is a larger unit. They come in smaller sizes, like half the size of this. Anything like this, I think there's also the Spot. There may be more devices that are capable of this, but is just a peace of mind, especially when you're riding solo or in a group and you're out in remote areas. So the next item that I carry is a pretty beefy first aid kit. Now this first aid kit is specifically designed for bleeding. So I'm not gonna pull all the contents out, but you can buy these pre-made. And another useful thing is if you have an HSA, you can use your HSA to purchase this. So I do have a CPR mask in there in case someone, you know, wants to resuscitate me. They can, you know, dig and find a mask just in case. But it's got things like quick clot, and I've got tourniquets and things of that nature in case I find myself or another person that is bleeding, and I can hopefully stop that bleeding. Okay, so let's now talk about the protective gear that I was wearing while riding, and I'll start with my gloves. They were just simple leather gloves with some armor and just a little bit of padding in the palm, and these have saved my bacon many times. So I don't wear the really airy meshy gloves because you go down and you slide, they're just gonna come apart. So I prefer leather. Even in the heat, I just deal with it. So next I'm gonna talk about the jacket and the pants I was wearing. It's kind of like a suit. It can attach actually, and this is the rev'it Sand 4 H2O pants and jacket. So there's the pants, there's the jacket. It has a polyester ripstop shell. That's what the outside, I guess the textile is. And I would have to say, after the experience I had with the crash, I'd say that it works very well. So after thinking about my injuries and looking at the footage from the motorcycle when I wrecked, and I can tell I went down, and instead of sticking my arm out, so glad I didn't do that, because I would have shattered my arm. I tucked, because I know I'm sore right here, and of course I've got my elbow, the injuries on my elbow to deal with, and then my rib injuries, and that's from impacting this here, and it's pushing into this. So I tucked in, I smacked the ground, and then I slid for a bit. This is the left arm of the jacket, and as you can see, this is the elbow area. None of the outer shell has been torn at all. It completely withstood the impact and the slide. Inside the elbow and the shoulders are CE level 2 armor. And even though I tucked and hit, I still got the strawberry, and I had a big swollen elbow, and that was through the armor. The shoulder armor also protected me. I had a really badly bruised shoulder, but still, if I didn't have that armor in there, you can think of how much worse it would have been. I got level 2 protection in this suit. It's still got a lump on my elbow. Look at that. And I think my knee's pretty shredded, but whew, man, that sucked. This jacket also has, it does not come with back armor. I did put level 2 back armor in it. That's just optional. For the price of this, you'd think it would come with back armor, but it doesn't. And there's nothing in this jacket as far as chest protection. Now on the pants, you can actually still see, like I said, I went down on my left side, and I've still got the dirt on the pants where I hit. I don't carry anything in my pockets while I'm riding, just in the event that I do crash like I did. Like if I had a pocket knife or a wad of keys or anything like that, it just would have, you know, that could have injured me as well. So I don't carry anything in the pockets, and As you can see where I hit, there's no rips in the fabric or the outer shell here. It all held together. However, with the pants, they do come with level 1 armor in the hip area, and I do have I got a big strawberry on my hip, so even though I had that little bit of armor, I mean, it's not much, I still got road abrasion on my actual skin through it. So like I said, if it wasn't in there, it probably could have been worse. I initially thought I'd screwed up my knees, but there's level 2 armor in the knees, and it goes down for quite a bit, so it protects a little bit of your upper shin here. But my knees were fine. Initially I thought I was still a little delirious when I got up and I was kind of hunched over and stumbling around, that I might have injured my knees, but my knees were fine. But the level 2 armor in the knees, I mean, I think that's fantastic. Also, it seems like the fabric's reinforced in the knee area too, so any little bit helps, you know. Next, the boots I was wearing were the Alpinestars Corazal Adventure Dry Star boots. It's a mouthful, let me tell you. But like I said, I went down on my left side, and I don't know, I don't recall my legs being pinned under the bike or anything, or my foot, but I smashed my foot somehow. And this is a pretty, you gotta forgive me, I'm still in pain here. It's a pretty stiff boot for the most part, but that upper part, there's not much up there, and my foot is still swollen. As a matter of fact, my big toe is so swollen that yesterday I thought I thought the skin was going to split. But we're okay. I'm going to lose the nails, turn them black and all that. But if I hadn't been wearing this, you can imagine the damage my foot would have incurred. So there's some pretty good protection with these boots. They're not like motocross boots, which is something I do wear. But I preferred these because the pants fit over these, and there's some good protection here. You can see I wore, from the wreck, I kind of tore the boot up a little bit, but overall it's in good shape considering with the impact and then the sliding. Other than that, I think these are pretty good. And I mean, if that's the only damage I got on my foot from that wreck, then I'm pretty satisfied. If I was on a heavier bike, you know, things could be a lot different, obviously. And the helmet, this is the Scorpion EXO AT950 modular dual sport helmet. This is what I was wearing on the impact. I cleaned up the helmet a little bit, but it took the beating really well. I've got some slight scratching in here from the rocks as I slid, but other than that, the helmet seems to be okay. I don't really ever ride with the chin up. It's always down because I have a camera attached. So I'm glad that I had the full face and the shield down because it completely protected me. And yeah, I can only imagine if I was not wearing a helmet, I more than likely would not be standing here today doing this video. So we'll have a look at the helmet immediately following the crash. And you can see where my helmet hit. I got dirt caked in there, and then the scratches going down there all the way down it. So wear your gear. So it's now been almost a week since the crash, and let me tell you, it's been a long week. Today's the first day that I've actually been up, really moving around, and I did not go to the hospital. I probably should have, but I'll show you in the video. I was doing some self-checks on myself. Let's go have a look now. Oh my God. Caught it right up in there. Ooh. Oh. I don't think I broke a rib, but oh, I don't know, I might have broke a rib. I've broken a rib before. It's no fun. Oh, I might just be bruised up pretty good. Man, I ate it hard. Elbow's all swole up. I got movement. I don't think I broke anything. I'm breathing okay. I think I'm okay. I think I'm just pretty banged up. Oh, just checking my motion right now. Ooh, boy, that hurts. Oh, boy, it got me. And I felt that even though I was injured, I felt that it wasn't an emergency. I've had broken ribs before. I figured at the worst I probably had a fractured rib, but I didn't feel like I had a lung puncture or anything like that. I still could breathe, although it was very painful. I didn't have any blood coming out of my mouth or anything like that. I could move around. I had movement, my arm. So I figured I was beat up, but I didn't need emergency services. So I continued on with the ride until the adrenaline wore off and the pain really came in. And I was like, all right, time to head back. But to update it, as I mentioned with the jacket, I had no chest protection. I am now going to avidly seek out and wear chest protection as soon as I decide on a product to purchase. There's a couple things I've been looking at. The one thing that I'm kind of really looking at is the tech vests. Those look like they might be what I am most interested in. Pretty spendy, but anything that protects your body is worth every dollar. So as far as my injuries, obviously I had the rib injury, and like I said, when I impacted, I must have been like this, and I just smacked and it pushed everything up. I very well may have cracked a rib. It sure feels like it. I don't know. I didn't get x-rays, but after being through it in the past, this is exactly what it feels like. So, I mean, from the spine all the way around, I'm still just having lots of pain. The worst is actually trying to sleep at night. Laying in bed is terrible. And I've tried sleeping sitting up on the couch. Doesn't work so great. So you just got to suffer it out. That's the big problem with ribs. You just got to suffer it out for, I don't know, a month to 6 weeks. But the elbow is sore, bruised shoulder. Actually, I've got the strawberries, the road rash on the elbow and the hip. The biggest things are my ribs and my left foot, mainly my big toe, which is still black and swole up. But other than that, you know, it could always be worse. So I'm counting my blessings that I was able to get up, get on the bike, and ride away, and I didn't have to go to the hospital or activate the inReach and get search and rescue to come get me. So like I said, I'm about a week into it now, and today's the first day where I'm really moving about, and I feel, I mean, I'm in pain, but I feel good. My spirits are good, and I wanted to thank all of you that commented and wished me, you know, speedy recovery. Thank you very much. That means a lot. And last but not least, let's talk about the wonderful Yamaha XT250, which sustained virtually, well, I'm going to say no damage at all, aside from a bent foot peg. This bike is fantastic. It is durable, and just, I have nothing but good things to say about the XT250. It'll get you out there and it will get you back. So I'm very thankful that my gear protected me, and I'm also thankful that I have a very reliable motorcycle here that I was able to get back out of there. So it's very impressive. Starts right up, ready to get back out there. There you have it, folks. There's my update on the crash, the aftermath, and the gear I was riding. Hopefully some of this helps you. I know I certainly learned a lot from my experience. You always learn something from something like that, right? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It helps us out tremendously. It's free. We're trying to grow the channel. Lots more content on the way, folks. Please stay safe out there. Wear your gear. See you next time. D-Rock out. Adios.